Okay, this video is for journo cyclist whose youth team they go down in the first 10 minutes, and this coach has tried everything. Right, you've tried everything: heavy warm up, light warm up before game, motivational speaking, but you're saying nothing seems to work. The thing that I believe will help is if your players just learn this concept when they're after. So let's say you warm your team up during practice, right? Warm up during practice. One thing I want to, if you give them this idea, you give it to them before, so at the start of practice and then at the conclusion, right? When you're attacking, you want to spread apart, right? Spread apart. And then when you're defending, you want to compress. So you want to close down passing lanes. You want to compress towards your goal. And then when you're attacking, you want to expand out, right? Open passing lanes, use the width of the field, and then the opposite. If they just understand that concept of spreading out when attacking and when you're defending, close down, just that tiny understanding will help them defend as a team and attack as a team. And I think that's such a core idea. I learned that idea from a coach at regional camp when I was 13 years old, right? ODP Region 1, this is Region 1 Northeast, right? And that was the first time that this coach was saying this in front of maybe it was a lot of people, right? It was maybe close to 1,000 people he was telling this to. So it was just a shift in my thinking that I hadn't heard before, right? So I think that's something that can really help the team. The second thing that could really help is during your practices, if you practice U8, U9, you want to practice the same things every practice, but you want to have slight variations in the things that you're practicing. So U8, U9. It's hard to say if I don't know their level of skills and also how much time you have. U8, U9. Yeah, so I would start off practice after the warm-up. The first thing that they're going to develop, that you want to develop is their foot skills, right? So the first thing I believe you should teach them is this is called the Rosetta Stone of dribbling, and it goes outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. One more time. Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. This is a foundation of dribbling, and it's going to improve. It's going to give them the ability, once they internalize that sequence, to lift their head up, make good passes, and get better shots on goal. The beauty of it is that it combines with all the other moves, right? This is just a foundation, so you could start to go outside, outside, inside, outside, chop, outside, outside, inside, outside, scissor, outside, outside, inside, outside, step over, outside, outside, inside, outside, L move, right? So teach them that. That would be the first thing you teach them. Everyone's got a ball, and let's say there's a pitch you play on, you have them go outside, outside, inside, outside, inside, saying it out loud, going slowly, and they do a lap around the field just doing that sequence. Or you can have them go to the end of the field and back. But you want to stress them to go slow. You want to say, naturally kids will be competitive, and usually when they're doing things, if they're assigned to go around the field, they're going to try to be the first one, right? That's what I noticed when I was coaching U8s and U9s. You want to say something that's going to encourage them to slow down. So you could say the first one back either gets punished, or the last one back gets rewards. Something like that. You want to encourage the behavior, something that'll make them slow down and get lots of touches, right? The goal isn't to be the first one done. The goal is to internalize the sequence and say it out loud. That'd be my step 1. Step 2, for practice after warm-up, so it goes warm-up, then dribbling sequences. To number 2, part 2, would be the barrel game. If you have, if there's a trash bin at the field that you're playing at, or you can get this is a $20 brute barrel, I would have the whole entire team, right? So we had maybe less than 20 kids, close to 20 kids would line up in a big circle around a barrel. They'd all have a ball in their hands, and keep in mind this was a grass field. So with a bounce, I would tell them use the right foot first, so they go. Right, so, and then if they messed up, then they have to start back again. Right, so then you do right foot, then you do left foot with a bounce. Right, left foot with a bounce, and then you do right foot with or alternating feet with a bounce. Ideally that goes in, and then you could do right thigh, no bounce, depending on time. Go right thigh with or without a bounce. Left thigh with a bounce, or without a bounce. Both thighs alternating. I mean, what's going to happen is one player naturally will be the best at this game, right? So I think this is a great game because it makes them compete against each other. It's going to teach them how to juggle while moving forward, or this is what it trains for. And it's a fun game. It's just a fun, competitive game that teaches simple skills development, right? So, and you probably have a barrel or a garbage can at the field, so you probably don't even need to buy anything. That would be my step, right? Goes warm up, dribbling sequence, barrel game, right? That's step 2. Step 3 is 1v1. This one requires you to have cones. Ideally, players, they play 1v1 against each other, and the goal is to knock each other's cones over, and they got to defend their cone, 1v1. Or you could have them stop the ball on a line if you don't have any cones, right? So just a few yards apart, and right, this is going to make it so that they're in. You want a high volume of 1v1 situations. After a few minutes, or one person beats another person, best of 3, then you switch the teams up. So that would be my step 3, right? 1v1. And then step 4 would be playing to big goals. Let's say you got 18 players. You split the team up into 3. And the reason you do that is because you want to keep it competitive, and you want to keep your players engaged. Then you have the team that's sitting out as bumper players, right, on the outside of the field. Your field, you want it to be very small. You want lots of shots on goal and quick transitions from attacking to defending, right? This is going to be, this is what you finish on, and you want to end when they still have more left in the tank, right? You want to end it prematurely. Ideally, this is the finisher, and so what this does, you want to end it when so that players have a good feeling about practice, when they're engaged, when it's right, ended on a high play, and have them excited to repeat that whole process for your next practice, right? So the sequence is it's warm up, right? Good warm up, and then dribbling sequences, right? Ball development or skills development sequences, barrel game, and then 1v1, and then finishing to goal, playing to goal, and that's a simple way to. That's going to teach them just some fundamentals to where they can be super competitive and develop their skills at the same time. So I hope that helps. And then also finish with that idea of compact when you defend, spread out when you're attacking. Once they hear that, it might help them defend against that first 10 minutes, get a quick goal scored on. So I hope that helps. Reach out with any questions. Thanks for your time.